All right. So, welcome all of you to another very amazing session on Shiksha. I'm Bhagyashree, the moderator for this session. But today's session is going to be very interesting. We have two people from Jindal School. So, the entire session is dedicated to admissions at Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. And I'm sure after clearing your exams, a lot of you have a lot of queries about like all of you who are interested in getting into humanities and liberal arts. You might have a lot of queries about this in university, about the college, what all the admission process is, how you get into it, and everything related, to admissions. So to help you and to guide you in that process, we have Ms Nishi Mishra, Program Director, who is looking after the admissions and outreach for Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. And we also have Param Bhatia, who's a current student at Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. So probably I'll hand it over the session to Param, who has a prior experience of these things and who can guide you and take you ahead in the entire session, take up your queries. And if you have any queries, any doubts regarding the process, regarding the college, you can straight away ask. Nishi ma'am is there to guide you. She'll help you and she'll tell you all the details. And probably I'll also share few certain links, and we'll have certain visual presentations also for all of you, right? So you can start dropping all your queries in the Q&A. Meanwhile, Param is getting back. So start sharing all your doubts that you have, regarding the course, regarding the admission process, how you get in there, about the college campus. I'm sure you might have a lot of queries, right? So what all is there about the faculties, about the course curriculum. So everything you can have here, you can discuss here. All right. I think Param, meanwhile, Param is getting back. I can just throw the questions to you. Okay, Param. So are we ready? Can we start taking the questions?
Yeah, we can go ahead 100%.
Right. So I would request you to take over the session from here with Nishi ma'am.
So yeah, I just like to give an introduction about the.
Okay, Param, I think there's some glitch happening from your side. If you can fix on it. Meanwhile, Nishi ma'am, can we start with the session about the admission process? There's a student who wants to know about the admission process, please.
Yes, please. Thank you so much, Bhagyashree. Thank you for introducing me and taking it forward from here. My name is Nishi Mishra, and I work in the admissions office of Jindal Global University and head the admissions of Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. Just giving you all a brief of Liberal Arts and Humanities School at Jindal. We were established in the year 2013 with an idea that we will be a definite school imparting liberal arts education across the globe. And what we did was we introduced a BA in Liberal Arts and Humanities program. And when we started, we were not pretty sure of who and what kind of people we are looking at for the program, but we were pretty sure of what we are going to deliver through liberal arts and humanities. And that is why we started with an ideology of exploration. And exploration in terms of everything, in terms of curriculum, in terms of what kind of students we want, in terms of the faculty delivery model. And this is how we started in the year 2013. And thereafter, there was no looking back. We started with just 13 students with the BA in Liberal Arts and Humanities program in the year 2013. And right now we are at 128 students in the program in the span of, I think, 9 years. And this is how we have grown eventually, not only in terms of quality of education, but in terms of quality of students that we are. And what is the best accreditation that you get is that we have been ranked #1 liberal arts and humanities school across the country in the span of just 9 years. Isn't that amazing for you all? I'm sure it is. So going ahead, I have one of our student, Param Bhatia, with us, who will be asking certain questions, and I will be answering those questions. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here. And if you have any questions, please throw back to me so that I can answer your questions well. Thank you.
So yeah, hi, can you hear me, Nishi ma'am?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, perfect. So just adding on to what you said JSLH as a community in general is a very close-knit community. So everything happens with everyone's consultation and everyone works together really well at JSLH. And admissions office is no different from all of this, the community at JSLH anyway. So basically the admissions office, when you register with the admissions office, you get a personalized counseling with our admissions officers and students as well. There's a student connect program that's a very like intricate program that works helping students connect with our prospective students and understand what JSLH is and how modalities of JSLH work and everything that way. So Nishi ma'am, my first question to you would be, how does this process of like counseling, personalized counseling work?
Well, at JSLH, unlike other schools, we just not believe in competition. We believe in equality. We believe in diversity. We also believe in that every individual is different. And that is why there is a hand-holding admissions process that we follow. So it's a four-fold process at the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, where you first fill in your application. The admissions counselor get in touch with you. The moment the admissions counselor get in touch with you, you have two rounds of interview. One is, of course, the admissions office head. They try to get in touch with you, understand what your requirements are, and what your requirements are in terms of doing the program and in terms of attaining something from the program, so that we both are at the same place. Simultaneously, if you clear that round, we are able to understand your requirement. We process your application for the faculty interview. Now, faculty interview is not a scary process. Faculty interview is a process wherein faculty tries to gauge in your requirements so that they can fulfill your requirement with respect to the curriculum and the pedagogy and what they are delivering to you, right? So faculty interview process is also to understand how much can we explore and take out of you, what skills you have and what skills need to be developed throughout the BA in Liberal Arts and Humanities program. So it's a no judgment interview. It's actually an understanding process that we have at the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. And the fourth important thing that we do is that based on the interview and how well you have written the application, we offer you an offer of admission. And that's usually a conditional offer that we give it to you, because most of the students who apply to us at an early stage because of the admission cycles and the rounds that we have. Post that, if you have already given SAT or ACT, we don't conduct any other interview for you. But yes, if you haven't given SAT and ACT, then you have to write the entrance exam of JSAT, which is our own entrance exam. You can get onto the website, check out the details, and you can find more about that. So as I told you, it's a four-fold process. So completing the application, interview, faculty interview, and the entrance exam.
So let me tell you another thing that's very interesting.
Yes, and I think Param can share his story of the interview process and the application.
100%. I'll get back to that, but let me like continue what I was talking about. The admissions process does not end when you enter campus. There's a very cool program called the Buddy Project, which happens on campus, which is also an essential part of your admissions process. The Buddy Project is basically a JGU kind of orientation where senior students and people from the admissions office would help you like enter campus and kind of settle in, because JGU believes in a policy like Nishima spoke about hand holding with counselors and admissions office. JGU and JSLH follow this policy where like we understand that students coming from school don't know how like universities and like how college works. So therefore we believe in like starting really slow and giving like honest perspectives and everything to students where they would not feel like they are being rushed or they get overwhelmed. So therefore these things happen. And now I'll get back to my admission story.
Yeah, that was an interesting story altogether.
We've discussed this a lot of times, Nishima and I. We sit and we discuss how did I end up here, but then I have no regrets. JSLH has been one of the best things I've experienced in my life. I've learned a lot and I've completely like seen myself evolve and change as a person. So basically in 2018 and 19, when I was graduating school, I applied to 8 major Canadian universities and I got into all of them. But in the end, I accepted the offer of two Canadian universities, University of Toronto and York University. And I planned on going to York University in the end. So in the end, like there was some problem with my visa and everything. So I had to like kind of hold a backseat. And I was very skeptical about applying to a university in India, but my parents did not want me to like take a gap year. Therefore, I did my research and I applied to JSLH, and I applied really late. I applied in like the ending of the last cycle, most likely. And again, I received a lot of guidance and help from the entire community. I got connected to a student. I was connected to a faculty member. Nishi ma'am was there throughout my admissions process, and we spoke about how like instead of applying to like a Canadian university, I can do like a summer school program or like a semester exchange program, which we will touch upon later in our webinar. But yeah, the admissions process, even though I was really late and everybody was getting into the modalities of going to campus, it was still very like, it was very like inquisitive and helpful for me to kind of apply here. And I got in, and then I decided to like accept the offer letter of JSLH. And again, I ended up here and I'm graduating this year, which was a very sad thing. But yeah, I've had the best experience of my life here.
And thank you, Param, for sharing this. For me, this is the most important emotion that I have holded on for 3 years, that you nurture, you talk to somebody, you nurture that kind of a feeling with respect to the admissions process. Then that student comes and joins in, and we become, it's not that it's a bond that we had created at the time of the admissions process, but it's a throughout journey of learning, sharing expression, our expressions, and learning through each other. So one of the most important things that I've liked about this school, because I've been associated with this school for past 5 years, is that there is learning throughout, there is exploration throughout, there is expression of emotion throughout, whether it is good, bad, ugly, or it is about being yourself. This is the best school for you to learn who you are.
Yeah, I completely agree with whatever you've said. So moving on, my next question would be, during the admissions process, there are some set of requirements. Could you like highlight on some of the requirements we have at JSLH for students? Or are there like open requirements where we assess students or something of that sort?
I think the most important thing that we look at the student at JSLH is that they have to be creative, they have to be curious and explorative at the same time. One of the most important things that we look at is what they can bring in, what difference they can bring in the thought process, right? And that is why the supplemental questions that we have in the application form get changed every year. They are a very quirky question that brings out the best in you. We want to see that. If we ask you a question that you went for a summer holiday, what did you look in your summer holiday? Or if you were the Prime Minister of India, what do you think about the society? Do you have that one thing that can bring in the change in the society? We are looking for that. So it's not writing bigger essays, but it's also telling you what kind of the skills do you have which can bring in the difference in the society. That's one of the most important thing that we are looking at JSLH. The second important thing is your participation in the extracurricular activities. Have you done any internships? Have you participated in national or international level competition? Because that add-on stars to your application. Since we are looking at the diverse range of students to apply to us, extracurricular activities help in the transformation of the personality of the student. And that add on to the kind of the quality of the student that we want to bring in at JSLH. So for us, the participation in the extracurricular activities, doing internship, doing community service matters a lot. And let me tell you, friends, that if you're applying abroad for your master's program or for your undergraduate program, people do look at your application, what kind of community services that you were engaged in, because that add on value to your application. And in the similar fashion, at JSLH, we also look at what kind of community service. You all will be surprised to know that we are, one of our alumni, Medini Mutai, she created a very good group on saving the dogs. And she is effortlessly working on that alongside working for QS. So that is the kind of the diversity that we want to see in. Letter of recommendations. We are looking at 2 letter of recommendation. We just don't restrict to what you have written in your application, but letter of recommendation is one of the most important thing that we work on. It can be either from the people that you have worked with. It can also be from your counselor or the head of the school. Letter of recommendation is a must during the application process.
So yeah, this idea that like the admissions does not only focus on like empirical grades, but like the holistic development of students is very interesting to me, because a lot of Indian universities, what they do is like they just look at grades and they set like a cutoff, which is like unfair to a degree, because a lot of students focus on other things than, like me personally, school, my grades were like decently good, but then other activities that I performed, like community service and like going to like exchange programs and being international and doing all of these things, that is something that JSLH focuses on, and that is a very like different thing compared to other
I
Indian
think
universities.
thanks, Param, for raising this up. Most of the people think that grades, your grade 12 score is a very important thing that is looked at while you are filling in the application. But at Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, you can still fill in the application while you are pursuing the course. I understand academics are important, but there are other parameters that we also look in and consider very strongly apart from the academics. Anybody who has got 60% and above can still apply to the program. That's the minimum eligibility criteria. We don't say that academics are not important. Academics is very much important, but at the same point in time, we are not restricting the capability of a student based on your academic performance. We let you live the kind of the life that you want to live with the skills that you have. We want to build upon a new version of yourself through liberal arts and humanities. And that is what we focus on the most.
Now, to kind of break this conversation, let's have 2 questions from the chat. What are typical SAT cutoffs? This is a question by Pushkraj.
Param, can you read the question, please?
I'll repeat the question again. The question basically says, what are the typical SAT cutoff scores? Could you just highlight on all of the competitive test scores once?
Yes. So for SAT and SAT, anybody who has got 1200 and above can apply to us. Even if you have not got 1200 and above, we will look at the other things. For example, somebody has got 1190 score, right? And they say that I am very willing to apply for the program. Then the faculty interview, the letter of recommendations, the participation in the international cadre competitions, all of this thing add on value to this. Right. So this is the kind of the thing that we look at.
Yeah. So on that note, let's carry the conversation on to what we study at JSLH. And there is a question regarding majors. So somebody's asking, it is great that you have the option of a self-designed major. Is it possible to have a STEM business major like computer science, data science, entrepreneurship, along with psychology and economics?
Oh my God, this is a very good question. I want to have the name of the student, please.
It was asked by an anonymous attendee.
Okay. The thing is that I've done my bachelor's in English literature. I want to study master's in psychology. What specialization does Jindal get? So you can opt for 2 options. One is that you could look at MA or MA or MSc Psychology on Applied Psychology Honors program that we have launched in this year. Second, what you could do is you could also look at the PGDRI course, which is the Postgraduate Diploma in Research and Innovation, which add-ons to what you have done in your English literature course. If you want to do psychology, add on English literature, do an extensive research in this particular program, then I think this is the PGDRI course that we follow could be a better suited option for you. All you need to do is you need to complete your application, present the kind of the research aptitude you have, write a dissertation, and we will look at it and help you out with a project.
Yeah, I think that answers most of the things.
Yeah, so, I think that answers the question that you have.
Yeah, so going back to the previous question, as the attendee has asked us to reply to it. Yeah, so about the self-designed majors.
Okay, self-designed major. As the name suggests, self-designed major is the major that you create with your choice limit. You get a liberty to create your own major. Now, which university, which program gives you that kind of a liberty to create your own major, right? You get a liberty to create your own major through the Liberal Arts and Humanities self-designed program. I'll give you an example. If you are interested in psychology and economics or English literature together, you can combine these two subjects together and study that. One of the best important thing is that I realized is very late stage, and I will give my story and background to this, is that I come from a family of doctors. I was very much interested and always interested to pursue immunology and victimology. Now, these are two different kind of these subjects, but I seldom knew that this is not the kind of the thing that skills that I had within. These were the subjects that I liked just for reading. And you as a student might also have encountered the fact that there are some subjects where you get good marks, but your liking lies in the subject where you don't get good marks. And what you do is you want to pursue both of them together. What you do is at the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, you combine these two subjects together of your choice and study that. Like history and English literature can go hand in hand together. Economics and law can go hand in hand together in the form of intellectual property law. Criminology and law can go hand in hand together. So these are the kind of the subjects which are interdependent on each other, which has a kind of, we call it as transferable skills that you could develop studying those subjects. And that is why, keeping this thing in mind, we created self-designed major. I hope I was able to clear the answer to the question.
Yeah, I think you've covered everything regarding self-designed major. I just have one point to add regarding this. Yeah. There's another concept of cross-electives at JSLH, where after your third semester, when you start your major, you can start taking cross-electives from all the 12 schools at JGU. So every course that is cross-listed, you can take these courses. So I personally have taken very interesting courses from the law school. I've taken courses from international affairs and global affairs. And these courses just help you build a more holistic transcript, which helps you like gain more knowledge and also like gain more perspective on what lies outside humanities and what can be pursued other than your specialization. So that is something. So Nishi ma'am, the next question is a very interesting question. It's about the classroom environment of JSLH. So the question from Amit is, other than classroom learning, what other aspects of learning are covered in the program duration?
Well, this question has to be answered by you, Param, because I think this is a student question that has been asked. I can answer this question, but I want you to answer them to give a right perspective towards the classroom.
So yeah, 100%. I'm always ready to take this question. So basically the pedagogy that's followed at JSLH is very interdisciplinary. We do not like stick to classrooms. I mean, 100%. There are like amazing intellectual classroom discussions. So before every class, there's no like JSLH does not restrict anything to books. So we don't have like a set book which will be carried on for the entire duration of the semester for the course, but we get like weekly readings from different areas of interdisciplinary education, basically. So what happens is we basically do these readings on our own, and we have classroom discussions, and on those classroom discussions outside the classroom we might have like field trips and other things that are very inquisitive, and we learn a lot of things from those. So basically it's just a very holistic learning. Sometimes during classroom the professor would just be like, pack your bags, let's go to the field and draw the building for like our expressive arts course, or like a professor would like take us to a very close market to like understand how like human sociology works and other things of that sort. So nothing in JSLH is restricted to classrooms. We do a lot of classwork, but we also do a lot of work other than class, which helps us like learn everything interdisciplinarily.
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question. So Nishi ma'am, the person who asked the question about the entrance exam in psychology MA degree is asking for like a clarification. Could you like expand on it a bit?
Yeah, it's P.MAT. They have to give P.MAT. We also consider GMAT.
Yeah, so another question is from a BBA graduate. This question comes from Oppo F9 Pro.
Oh, wow.
What can a BBA graduate do if the student doesn't want to pursue typical MBA? Then that's expected after a BBA, given that the student has a 15-year plus work experience already and had a 2-year diploma in hotel admin and food tech.
See, technically, you could look at any of the courses. If you're not wanting to do something in MBA, you could look at a lot of postgrad courses which can align with your skills and interests. Nowadays, data sciences is increasing a lot. If you want to do something in data sciences, research management, wealth management, you could look at these kind of the subject, which aligns with your skills and whatever you want to do. But Jindal doesn't offer as in courses related to data sciences. So you should have, you could look at MA in diplomacy, law and business, MA in public policy, or you could also look at the postgraduate diploma in research and innovation, where you can still work on certain aspects. If you want to start up your own business, what do you do? What is design thinking all about? What is business creation all about? What is ideation phase of business creation? We do help you out with that with PGDRI course.
I think Param is having some technical. Meanwhile, I can help you out with the questions.
Please. Thank you.
Okay. So I think that has been answered. Okay. Bhumi is constantly here asking. Bhumi, if you have any particular question, straight away put your question here, right? If you have any particular, okay, we had a student from Sri Lanka also, ma'am, and he or she wants to know about how to apply. So can we guide them? Like, I don't know if he's here in India from Sri Lanka and he wants to apply. So need some guidance.
Okay. Thank you for asking the question. I don't know what your question is. But if your question is with respect to the application process, I would say that we don't have a separate application process for international students as most of the university has, right? We have a very simple process. You complete the application, you get enrolled yourself for the faculty interview, your faculty interview happens, and then you have to write an entrance exam, and post your entrance exam, we give you an offer of admission if you have cleared the faculty interview and the entrance exam. One of the best thing about Jindal is that we don't have a separate fee structure for application and for the program for international student. It's at par with all these students across the globe. Whether you are a national student, international student, or student coming from any community, the fee structure remains the same.
Right. Also, I think the team has shared certain important links for JSLH. So all of you can actually go through those links. That will be of great help to all of you. So just have a look on those links as well, right? And there is an email ID number also provided from the college. So you can get in touch directly on them, right? Okay. Akansha wants to know about P.MAT. Ma'am, if you can guide them about P.MAT exam a bit.
Okay, Akansha, what you could do is you could go on to the website of psychology, JSPC, Jindal School of Psychology and Counseling. You will get details about the P.MAT program. P.MAT program runs in a similar fashion of GMAT examination, right? It tries to understand the kind of the skills that you have with respect to thinking critically and logically, right? And you could write to the counselors available on the website of JSPC school, and they can guide you. They have sample papers for the preparation of the P.MAT examination. You can ask the counselor, they'll send you the sample papers for the preparation of P.MAT examination.
Right. Okay. She is interested to know about masters in psychology.
Yes, and that's why I suggested her to go to the JSPC school, which offers a master's in psychology. You can, and do get the sample papers. That will eventually help you out, prepare better for the entrance exam.
Right, absolutely. I think that would be of great help. Ma'am, can we have a bit of information about the scholarships also?
Yes, please. So the scholarship at Jindal is a very holistic process that we follow. Why I say it's a holistic process? Because it's not that anybody and everybody can get the scholarship, right? It's scholarships are always earned, but how you earn the scholarship is dependent upon two factors. One is the means, right? What kind of background you come in, what your family income looks like. And the second is the academic performance of the student, so that nobody is restricted to the quality education that we have at Jindal. So we offer only one kind of the scholarship, which is the merit cum means scholarship, wherein the parental income is taken into consideration while providing the scholarship to the student. There are 5 parameters which are very important for somebody to get into the scholarship list. One is you should have got an offer of admission from Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. Second, you should have accepted the offer of admission. Third, your parental income should lie within 30 lakh rupees, both the parents' income tax returns taken together. Fourth important thing, you should have given entrance exam or have got good scores in extracurricular activities. And fifth, and one of the most important thing that we follow is that somebody coming from different background, for example, somebody coming from refugee community, somebody coming from defense background might get preference over the others. So if you have, or a single parent for that matter, we have got a lot of students whose parents are single. So we do consider you for scholarship. You might get preference over the other where there are 2 parents working. So all these parameters are taken into consideration while somebody is applying for the scholarship. And I think this is the process that we follow. And the quantum of the scholarship lies from a 10% waiver in the tuition fee, and it goes up to a 50%. So there are different slabs for providing the scholarship, ranging from 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 50%.
Right. Thank you, ma'am, for that answer. Okay. Varun is here and is asking that, should I go for this program if my interest lies in going for civil services in future?
Well, a very good question. So I would suggest somebody who is looking to apply for civil services in future, I would suggest, and this is my personal experience, that you shouldn't be going for a monologue program. Reason being is, if you want to take a simple course in sociology or political science because you want to do bureaucratic services or the Indian administrative services later, that's a bad idea, because of the fact that if you haven't learned interdisciplinary education at your undergrad level, right? If you haven't understood sociology, political science, English literature, you haven't worked on your holistic development. And bureaucratic services is not just about one particular subject. It's about the interdependence of one subject onto the other. If you might have seen the questions of the prelims examination of bureaucratic services, you might have seen that the questions are not just restricted to one particular subject. It gives you an holistic information of India, the world, the kind of the history that we had, the kind of the political science we had, the kind of the people that we had. And for that particular thing, liberal arts and humanities, because it gives you a chance to be a critical and logical thinker, holds a better chance if you are looking at bureaucratic services.
Right. Thank you, ma'am, for that answer. Okay, Rajan wants to know about admissions in liberal arts. I think we're already discussing about that. And Rajan, we have, I think you could see the links that have been shared for you. So you can straight away just move to their official website, right? So you can log in and you have all the details. Okay. All right. Ma'am, also, what I saw a few questions that we have received during the registration process was, I'm sure a lot of them have this, like, what are the future aspects after, completing liberal arts? What area they can move ahead,
Oh, that's a very good question. Usually, most of the students get confused about the fact that what do I do after doing liberal arts and humanities? Because this is not one subject. These are various subjects that we are studying. And I have two answers for this question. One is that at the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, it is not a thumb rule that you will study many subjects. The first year, you are doing the foundation year courses. And in the second year, you are choosing your majors and electives. You have to present a 25,000 word dissertation, which is a detailed research report on whichever subject that you want to do, which gives you an ample amount of knowledge to apply to various kind of the multinational companies and to the places that you want to apply for. Now, most of the time I get questions from the parents. What do my child do after this? Well, the answer to this is whichever subject, if you have taken psychology, for example, as one of your major through liberal arts and humanities, what are the kind of the places that you can work in? You can work in hospitals as a psychologist, as a therapist. You can work in multinational companies as organizational behavior expert, right? You can also go for research work like neonatal therapist, right? You could also go in research work in victimology. You can be an academic counselors like us. So there are various kind of the professions that you can get into if you want to take economics for that matter. Now, if you study a standalone program in economics, you can just go and work at think tanks or go for economic strategies. But if you do it through liberal arts and humanities economics, what you could do is imagine people working in news channels like ET Now and Bloomberg TV. These are finance-oriented news channels where your writing, speaking skills, and your knowledge of economics, all three of them matters a lot. And this is what is developed through liberal arts and humanities. Imagine people who have taken up design thinking on international business, where they're working. They're working as security analyst in Uber because they have studied sociology, how people behave, what is the geographical condition at that particular area where they have to work as security analysts. So different aspects or different majors of liberal arts and humanities open up avenues for you in different varied sector. And there are plethora of opportunities for these students who want to pursue this. So it's not restricted to one particular subject. There are various kind of the skills, jobs, designation that are there for the people who look out at liberal arts and humanities.
Thank you, ma'am, for that answer. We are moving to some more questions coming in from students. Okay, Sanjana Shanai is here, and she said that I asked about this self-designed major combining psychology and business analytics at JGU. And she's asking that, is it possible to combine the course across two schools at JGU?
Oh, very well. You can do this effortlessly. So I haven't spoken about the cross-listed electives. And there are more than 300 electives that Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities offers. But there are more than 500 list of electives which is offered across the school, across JGU. So for example, you are interested in doing criminal law, and you have taken up psychology as one of the program at Liberal Arts and Humanities. You could look at criminal law offered at Jindal Global Law School. You are interested in, you have taken up economics at the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. You could combine that with the School of Journalism, with the story writing or economics journalism is what you could follow. You have taken up a self-design major and you want to do something in international business. Take up international relations major offered at the School of International Affairs. So there are plethora of electives that are there. What happens is, once you have done your foundation year at the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, in the second year, there are bidding of electives, their major popular electives from different schools. You can pick and choose any elective of your choice and study that. But beware, it's not just taking up that subject. You have to study that, attend the classes, give the examination, and the credit for that particular elective will be added on to your liberal arts course. And how does that help you out? It not only helps you out in understanding that subject and gaining their knowledge, but eventually if you want to apply abroad to the foreign universities, that credits add on to the credentials of your application, which helps you out to get good scholarships in that university, particular university. So it is very important that you look at cross-listed electives and take up liberal arts and humanities, which gives you that expansion mode to study and accommodate different subjects in your CV or in your curriculum.
Right, absolutely. Thank you, ma'am, for that answer. Okay, Bhumi has a question. Ma'am, I've just given my 12. I want to go in law field. Which course should I go through? BA LLB, BB LLB, BCom LLB?
Okay, Bhumi, I don't have your number, but I will ask you one question before I answer this question to you. What's the difference between a brinjal and an aubergine?
Okay, I think Bhumi, you should answer that in the chat, that ma'am can see, and then probably you can go ahead, right? Okay, Jyoti is here. Could you provide few insights about the PGD program in research and innovation, and in which specific dimensions is the course designed?
Okay, Jyoti, the postgraduate diploma in research and innovation is a purely research blended program, right? It's basically for the people who think that the kind of the research work that they required in their undergraduate degree program was not given to them. This course also acts as a bridge course if you are wanting to apply abroad for your master's, because of the fact that the extensive research form in different subjects of humanities field like economics, business studies, political science, history that we have, and you want to extend your research work and understand that subject better, because I am pretty sure 3 years of the undergraduate degree program in a particular subject does not give you that holistic approach towards a particular subject. You will have to add on certain things to understand that subject better. And this blended program gives you that avenue. So the career pathway for this will look like that you choose up a subject, you work research in that, you have mentors who are being provided for you to attain the kind of the goals that you set up for this particular program. We help you out with internships. We help you out if you have a business plan. We help you out create that. And then you attain your internships in that particular subject. This is a 1-year program. One of the best approach to do this program is that if you because this acts as a bridge course, so if you want to use the credits that you have earned to apply abroad for your master's, So this credit that you have earned in the PGDRI is helpful for you to apply for your master's abroad. I think, Jyoti, my question answers the query. Bhumi has asked, ma'am, can you repeat the difference between what? Okay. What's the difference between brinjal and aubergine? If you don't know, I can answer this for you. Bhumi, do you say pass? Okay, let me answer this for you. Bhumi, your question was that what's the difference between a BLLB, BBA or a BCom LLB program? So the answer is, if there is no difference between a brinjal and an aubergine, there is no difference between BLLB or BBLLB or BCom LLB. It's the difference just in the nomenclature. The kind of the degree, you will be a lawyer at the end of the day. So whether you take up a BLLB program or a BBLLB program or a BCom LLB program, it doesn't matter. It's just the difference in the nomenclature. How brinjal is called aubergine in European countries, and brinjal is called a brinjal in India, the same is the difference. It's just the difference in the nomenclature or a difference of one subject. But at the end of the day, the degree entitles you to become a lawyer. There is no other difference. So even if you get a BCom LLB and not a BLLB or a BBLLB, go for it.
Makes sense. Does anyone else have any questions before we move on to the video? If yes, please put them on the chat.
So guys, what will happen is Param is going to show you the video of the students who have learned and studied, have spent time at the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. Right? You could just have a look at this, and if you have any questions, you can ask Param. Param can answer those questions. I'm also here.
Is my screen visible to everyone? Hi, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is.
Hi everyone, this is Param Bhatia and I'm a student of the 2019 batch majoring in psychology. And to start off this video, I want to emphasize on how JSLH as a community is extremely close-knit. The faculty, students and the administration members are extremely well connected through platforms like Outlook and WhatsApp groups, which help us solve problems instantly whenever one comes up. Similarly, the Student Connect program is reflective of the same. Through this program, we aim to answer the questions our prospective students might have regarding anything, because having been there ourselves, we understand what it feels like. Therefore, to solve this, we assign one existing student at JSLH to a prospective student to help them understand what JSLH is like and to answer their questions about the admission cycle or doubts and dilemmas they have regarding university choices. And through this video, we will give you an insight on what JSLH entails, along with personal experiences and introduction to academics and what life on campus is like. Looking forward to interact with each one of you super students. Thank you and stay safe.
Namaste. My name is Dev Mathur. I'm from the batch of 2019, Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. I'm also the batch representative. I wanted to talk to you about the admissions process when it comes to Jindal. Now, personally, I was someone who never, even a single time, conversed with a college counselor who a lot of students actually take the help of right after school and even in your final year in your class 12. But surprisingly, nonetheless, without any expertise on the matter, I was approached by one teacher from Jindal, one professor who took the initiative to help me out. And it was the smoothest process ever. And so you don't need to worry when it comes to Jindal and such a process, because I understand there is nervousness, but because it's college, it's a new environment, but don't trust me, it's way easier. So yeah, hope to see you guys soon and best of luck.
Hi everyone, I'm Ananya and I'm in my second year at JSLH, and today I'm going to be talking about why I chose JSLH. So for me, a really important thing was the course structure. I was really intrigued by a lot of the courses that JSLH had to offer, especially under expressive arts like music, theatre, cinema, etc. Also, the fact that JSLH students get to take electives from the third semester itself was very impressive to me, considering the wide array of choices that we get from that. I was also looking for a really diverse student body, and even before officially joining JSLH, I got to talk to several JSLH students where I found that I could really learn a lot from them and their perspectives. Now, there are a lot of obvious factors as well, like the renowned faculty and the engaging events on campus, but for me, these two factors really spoke out to me. I don't think I've ever regretted joining JSLH. It worked out really well for me, and I found it to be a really good fit. I have a long way to go, but I'm extremely happy with my decision.
Hi, I'm Nikita Bakshi, a final year student at JSLH pursuing an economics major. I wanted to share some insight on the campus life in regards to food and the medical services available, since I know many of you have not gotten the opportunity to see campus for yourself. While going to campus for the first time, I had a lot of doubts, and these basic necessities are concerns for prospective students and parents. The food available on campus exceeded my expectations because of the variety that is there. You can get food from any of the multiple dining halls, the food court, and small kiosks like the Tapri and Amul. The food available in the mess is similar to home cooked food, and trust me, you'll end up eating them more often than you think. There are the yummiest snacks available in the evening to give you the boost of energy for those evening classes. There are multiple outlets in the food court, which includes Continental, North Indian, and South Indian. The Jindal famous Aloo Tikki burger with cheese, or ATBC, from the Tapri or Amul is something that is irreplaceable. In between classes, you can grab a quick Maggie from the main mess, or just an early morning coffee for those 8 am classes. The health services on campus have always made me feel so safe and taken care of. There is a well-organized functioning health center on campus where you can go for any problem to get you checked. What is special about the health assistance from Jindal is that you have a phone number readily available to you in contact in case you or someone you know is unable to walk to the health center. Until a certain radius, the health center will be able to send help to you even if you aren't on campus. This helps students feel safer going out in Sonipat too, especially with any health problem you may face. There is a fully stocked pharmacy with anything you may need, especially sanitizers and masks during this pandemic. There is also laundry service available to students on campus near the hostel buildings right next to Tapri. Once you give a bag of your laundry, it takes no longer than 2 days for you to get it back with a very organized system.
Hi everyone, my name is Amisha Banerjee and I study in JSLH in my third year, and my major is literary studies. With respect to safety on campus, I've always felt very
All right, I think that was a quick visuals that we saw testimonials from students. So before we wrap up, we're just raising, just wanted to know how was the session for all of you? Was your questions answered? And is there anything left that you would like to know, or is there anything else? I think the team has already shared a lot of email IDs and relevant links. So all of you who are looking ahead, please go through those links, or you can reach out to them directly as well. And if you have any queries regarding the admission process, so you can actually have a look on those prospectus. I've also shared Shiksha's link. You could also get connected with us. Probably will help you and, get through them. So do not worry on that. And just launched a feedback poll. So meanwhile, ma'am, the students are filling up the feedback session poll for this particular webinar. Like, what piece of advices would you like to give to all the students, like who will be, getting into Jindal and looking ahead to their courses here?
I think all these students might have got advices from left, right, and center from everywhere after they have taken up the board examination. But one thing that I would suggest all these students is, before you take up a decision for a particular course or a particular program, there are two things that you should be taking into consideration. I'm sorry. One is, what kind of interest do you have to pursue a program? And do you have the relevant skills to pursue that further longer? Don't ever go on to the peer thinking. What you can adopt is your own capability. So do a proper research. Go to the website of different universities, check out the details, speak to the students, speak to the alumni, see where you stand in terms of understanding your interest and skills, because these are the two things that go hand in hand together. And I think that is only the piece of advice that I want to give them before they apply to any program or to any university in general.
Right. Absolutely. Param, can we have you on screen? I think ma'am needs to leave. So maybe we could have one last questions from you.
I'm sorry, I have a quick meeting and I have to leave. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for all that information. And I'm sure that would be really beneficial for all of them.
Yeah.
All right. So we have Param here. So Param, a quick chat with you before we wrap up the session, and they are also filling up the poll. We recently got another question. If I don't know if I could take up that from you. Okay, I think this question is here, elaborating on the preparation needed for JAAT entrance exam for the BFA course. If you like to guide them a bit on that.
Yeah, so the JSAT entrance exam is universal for all the courses at JGU specifically, because it's Jindal SAT, so it's universal. I think there is a threshold score that's mentioned on the website for all the programs specifically. And for the BFA program, I'm sure the website mentions a designated score, because the BFA program is a course under JSLH. It's Bachelor of Fine Arts, and it's a very inquisitive and a very regressive course. So I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of students to go for. And the JSAT score would be mentioned on the website. If not, you can contact Deepika Madan, whose email address has been mentioned here, or Nishi.
Yes, absolutely. And just another quick question about internships. What kind of hands-on training students will have, and what kind of practical experience they'll have?
Yeah, so with internships, there is the Office of Career Services at JGU. That Office of Career Services, before every semester starts ending, so 1 month before the semester ends, they start sending so JSLA specifically, the module has 4 compulsory internships, so it counts for credits. And if we don't complete the credit requirement, we don't graduate. So there are 4 compulsory internships, 2.5 credits each. And for that, the Office of Career Services will start sending a lot of internships. They send around 150 to 200 internships before every summer break or winter break. Out of those internships, you can choose what you want. There is a certain requirement to internships. I think there is to 30 hours per week is the minimum requirement for 4 to 6 weeks per break. I think it depends on summer or winter. I think winter is 4 weeks and summer is 6 weeks. That way students get to like experience all of this corporate world or like NGO or wherever the students want to work specifically. It's not just like restricted to corporate internships. A lot of students end up researching under faculty. That also counts as internships. I personally have done internships in corporate sectors because I want to get into corporate sector. So OCS has helped me find those internships. And with that, this hands-on experience really helps you get an idea of what's ahead and what you want to do ahead. So I think that is a great
like
thing.
just I'm sure a lot of students might want to know kind of placements they look at, since when we talk about humanities, they always have a different kind of perception that okay, what placements we'll have. It's like a very common thing. So like since you're already doing those things and you're already into that cycle, what kind of placements or the companies they can look ahead that, and why they'll opt for JSLH, keeping apart the others? Like there is a comparison that constantly goes on. So why JSLH?
Yeah, so understanding that with liberal arts, since everyone does a very different course with liberal arts, so it's difficult to find like mass placements that would like kind of cater to everyone's needs. Therefore, OCS before graduating, all the students get a form which helps OCS analyze what the student plans on doing. And with that form, they will have personalized placements for every student. So the students get in touch with OCS and then they get contacted to specific companies or like specific universities that would cater to their needs rather than having like a mass placement thing. Because like personally, I have done majority of sociology courses, but I'm a psychology major. So something that would cater to my needs would be something OCS would like look at and help me find, rather than like put me in like a mass placement thing. So I think that idea is really like important and essential to what liberal arts holds.
Right, absolutely. And last question, like what kind of I would say a social life students would experience? And I'm sure apart from academics, there is a social life, there is a group that they look ahead, the life at college. So what kind of that kind of experience you have there?
So JGU is all the students will have to be on residence to study at JGU. There's no like off residence students available at JGU. So with that, you can expect a lot of things happening on campus. So there are 2 fests that happen per semester, not 1, 2.
Great.
And with those fests, there are students coming in from other universities and all of these things. There are food festivals happening on campus. There's small business festivals happening on campus.
Right.
There are over like 50 clubs and societies on campus that exist, which help students engage into all of these things. Personally, I was a part of the student council and student administration at JSLH. So with these things, you can participate in a lot of book clubs. You can participate in a lot of reading clubs. So you can do all of these things which keep you engaged between classes. Like there is sports also. Sports is another thing a lot of students prefer doing. There's a lot of competitive sports that happen, but also a lot of sports that just happen for like leisure time. A lot of students just play to like spend time, not play competitively. So that's one thing a lot of students can do.
Right. I think that briefs a lot information about, JSLH. And I think any of the students like after 12, when they're looking ahead for, getting into a new college life, a new campus, making a new group. So these are the small things that I'm sure a lot of them want to know. Like, okay, academics is there, but what about the social life and all? So I think that gives a lot of insights. And I'm sure all of them who have attended the session, all of you are like pretty clear about the college, the university, the courses, the exams, and all the details are there for you. So anytime you get stuck or any information you are looking ahead, please directly get in touch with them on the given email IDs and numbers, and they'll be there to guide you regarding the entire admission process. And if you are even stuck after that, you can also reach out to us so that we can help you get connected to them, right? So thank you, Param, for joining us for the session, and that was an interesting session. And thank you for all your experience and all that information that you have shared with all the students. And I hope the session was helpful to all the aspiring candidates. Right. Thank you, students. Thank you. If you have any queries, please reach out to them directly. They've shared all the details out there. And if you're still stuck, you can always reach out to us via mail, right? Thank you so much and have a great evening.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel.